Everybody, there it goes. There it goes. Lagging this morning. Anyway, hey everybody, good morning, and welcome to Thursday morning. However you want to count it, third, fourth, fifth day of Trump. I don't know. Welcome to the show. Trump speaking at the World Economic Forum at about 11 a.m. today. What's he gonna say? Some people think it's gonna be all about tariffs. I don't know. Trump plays hardball. We'll see. Likely to be some volatility involved in that. It is colored red on the calendar. We'll get there in a second. Gaten, Will, Diane, Rex, channel member David, channel member Rob, channel member Dan, Gary, Sergio, Jason, Pauline, Cliff, Goose, my man. Good to see you. Dawn, JB, Darren, Robert, Mad, Al. Good to see everybody. Mark, how's it going? How's it going? And welcome to the show. So anyway, I guess we should start out in the normal place here. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. I predict things. Sometimes I get them right, sometimes I don't. So past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another one right again. That would kind of suck, but it's true. All right. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. So that means no stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. There's a substantial risk of loss if you trade anything. If you desire personal financial advice, it's not what I'm here to do. You got to hire and consult a financial advisor, somebody that can give you advice based on your financial situation. It's not what I do. Not what I do. And here we are today. Refresh the calendar. Jobs. Market just kind of shrugged. We were already in a pullback when the jobs hit. Imagine that. And right here today, I say jobs, unemployment is what I'm talking about. Slightly higher, tick, basically in line. And the market shrugged. But this right here, 11 o'clock. Right there. We got the juice. Trump is speaking at the World Economic Forum. We'll see what happens. I have no prediction. None. Now, we can look at the charts and see what the tea leaves are saying might be the reaction. But remember, 4 years ago, for whatever reason, people are having a lot of trouble with this concept. 4 years ago, Biden took over. Before that, the 4 years before that, we had Trump in office. And every time he tweeted, the bots would go crazy and make some volatility in the market. We traders love to forget that kind of stuff, but they used to go crazy every time a tweet or piece of information came out about Trump. We're probably going to get back to that, so be careful. He's speaking at that World Economic Forum and likely to say some spicy stuff. We'll see. All right. Right there. And via satellite, that's kind of funny. It's probably just via the internet. Probably via Zoom or something like that. So, right there. Dun, 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 dun. And, you got me. You got me. He frequently speaks, it says down here, he frequently speaks on a broad range of subjects. So, this ought to be interesting. No disclosure what he might be talking about. So, we already know he's going to be tariffs is likely, some kind of, trade talk, being hard on people and, challenging other countries to control the fentanyl flow and things like that. So we'll see what happens. He's already talking, purchasing Greenland. He's already saying Canada should merge with us. There's all sorts of craziness that have come out of his mouth already. So there's no telling what'll come out of his mouth today during that speech. So volatility event for sure. I'll be surprised if it's not some sort of volatility event. If he didn't say something that somebody's like, what the outrage? So it's like the president of causing outrage. And looking back at ES. Dun, dun, dun. Did I get the right list? Let's see. I don't know if this is the right list. Yeah, it's the right list. All right. Yes, this is S&P 500. We came up and closed above the magic level right there. That was it. We're probably going right up here. Now, that doesn't mean we won't pull back to retest that before we do that. Entirely possible. But this is the target zone, and it could take out to late February, even March to get there. Quite possible. But the climb rate we've had so far, probably just going to get a day or so of rest and then continue the march higher. This is S&P 500 futures. If you've never seen them, for some reason my watermark is turned off. There we go. Yes, right there. Looking, why not just look at the S&P 500? Because that's less clear. Not really able to see as much on here. Got to remove a few arrows that I drew a while back. A few bits of detail. So we've got this high right here. We've got this low right here. For actual cash index, this is the target zone right in here for now. For now. We have Tesla earnings coming up right over here. Along with a lot of other earnings. And the FOMC meeting right there. So this, we could rally. I was speculating we may rally up into this and then do a pullback. So be careful. That's a big volatility event next week. It's going to be a whizzing contest between Trump and Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell trying to prove to Trump he's got more control of the market, and Trump won't like that. That's what I got to say. So it's going to be a showdown here as we get into that event next week. Yeah. This is going to be interesting for the next little while till everything till we establish what the norm is going to be. Lots of unexpected stuff happening. So, I mean, some of it completely expected, some of it completely unexpected, and it should be a wild ride. Looking at just the gauges here, S5TW has come all the way back up to the top. Right? I warned that we were potentially going to reverse strongly. Well, there we go. S5FI, we're back up to the middle. Could this double dip? You betcha. You betcha. Right? We've done that before. See, we've come up in the same vicinity, right near the middle. If I turn it off of log mode, it'd probably look even better. And we came up in the same vicinity, right near the middle. And we double dipped. So we could double dip again. We're in a cautionary point. You know, the roadmap line doesn't really mean anything on this chart because it's a sideways oscillator chart. We oscillate from the top to the bottom. The roadmap line doesn't really have much meaning here. This chart kind of bouncing a little bit. Are we still on the march to the bottom? I don't know. So we haven't really moved much on the stocks above the 200-day. We're just kind of hanging. Just kind of hanging. These, I flip these up every, I don't look at them that often. Once a day, once every 2 days, 3 days, a couple times a week, just to gauge where we're at. Stocks above the 20-day, we're probably due for a pullback. We don't hang out up there very long typically, so we may see a pullback for a couple days before we go higher again. All right, stocks above the 50-day, it's hanging out in the middle. Could double dip. Stocks above the 200-day, not really suggesting any kind of long-term anything, except that we've spent a lot of time at the top. We may go spend some time at the bottom. There's the uptrend of lows so far. We may go retest that. It's possible. And it's possible we go to the bottom. All you can do is read the tea leaves, as they say. You You know, smear some stuff in a bowl, kind of move it around, and try to predict it. You know, smear some stuff on, draw some stuff on the candles, squint one eye, try to decide which way it's gonna go. That's all you can do is, you know, pros and cons. Which way do you think it's gonna go? Right now, ES looks like we're set to get those higher targets, but as I said, we could rally up quickly, hit that top, and pull back violently at the FOMC meeting next week. All right. All right. How much of it is getting mad, though, Robert? I mean, like, is it really him mad, or is he just, you know, play being mad on TV because he's one of the greatest showmen? If you haven't watched the interview Tucker Carlson did with Billy, you got to go watch it. It's interesting. Billy's talking about how Trump is a great showman, and he's just always on, always entertainment, always trying to get a reaction. So it may not be that he's actually mad. He just, you know, just going for the show. It's a different concept when you really think about it. So NQ came up here. We got the close above the 618. There's the target. There's the target. Right up there. Russell. Unclear. Here's the resistance. This right here is support, and then this is support below that. And then that's the target if we're going down. Right there. Right there. CL probably going to bounce right there. Probably going to do it. If it doesn't hit that at this point, it's disappointing. Because it looks like it's so ready to just spike down there. Find that, test that support, and get going. Gold, not doing much. Barely retracing. This can turn and burn all of a sudden. You never know what Trump's going to say. This could be up here by the end of the day at new all-time high. It's kind of rolling the dice just a little bit. Bitcoin still struggling to break out. This is really frustrating at this point. I need to set me an alert right at 100, right in here. So, you know, a couple of my Term Trading Lab VIP group members were like, you know, JT, you talked about possibly liquidating Bitcoin yesterday. After I got off here, I just kind of reflected on it a little bit and just decided it was unclear. Like, I really wanted this to keep going. But at the same time, when you look at this move right here, that was one vicious, big, strong move up. I mean, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green daily candles in a row, pretty strong. The pullback was very small. We may need a little bit bigger pullback before we do that. Now, we kind of had the same thing going on ES, same thing going on NQ. We hadn't confirmed anything. And that just causes me to sit and not make any major trading decisions when it's relatively unclear. Well, the tone of everything is changing slightly from probably going to hit the roadmap line to possibly going to get the continuation higher. Is this a giant fake out? That's always in my mind. Like, how can I be wrong? Right? That right there, we saw those bottoming candles. We held that, you know, that's why I watch all these charts. It's not any one chart I make decisions on. Right? There's no, which chart do I watch? You got to watch them all. All right, that's why I talk about this set of charts right here almost every day between S&P and NASDAQ and Russell and CL and gold and Bitcoin and Ethereum and dollar and NKD. That's why they stay on this chart or stay on this list every day. I go through them. I flip through them. I kind of gauge what I think the market might do. Just looking at everything. You know, Russell still being very unclear. This didn't do a retest yet. This could pull ES and NQ down while it does it before we come on up. So Bitcoin just grinding right there. We're still above that level, still above that 100. Haven't been able to get above 105 yet with any kind of, haven't stuck the landing yet. Just frustrating, right? I mean, that's what the market does. It loves to frustrate the most number of traders it possibly can. So we failed to break down, frustrated all the bears, failing to break out, frustrating all the bulls. It might just chop in here a little bit. I mean, that's entirely possible. Entirely possible. Ethereum still looks bearish. I'm not betting on it, but I'd bet we're going down there. Certainly, if we get below the roadmap line, I'm going to be very disappointed if we don't hit that 2750 area right there. Very disappointed. Then it starts looking like possible. You know, it looked like a 5-wave down. Now it's starting to look like a complex corrective down. Looking like a ABC, ABC, ABC. And it's looking like a compound corrective instead of being impulsive, sort of. Yeah, nothing can be clear in the market, it seems like, right now. So we get you can have a double combo right here. Something like this, where you get and I don't know exactly which one was the high, but W, X, possibly Y, where it's ABC, 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 right there. Usually the X is one good wave without the ability to really tell, but that has a clear 3-wave to it. That drop has very little clarity to it. That looks like 3 waves up, and that may be the flush out there. Difficult to tell how it. The only thing I can say, complex corrective. That's at this point, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waves. So that's 2 sets of 3. So this makes it difficult, but probably going lower. Dollar hovering. Probably going to drop out. Back to the roadmap line. That would be what I expect to happen. Right there. Now, what happened last time Trump was in office? Not saying it's happening again, but dollar over here relatively trended down. All right, that was slightly lower highs, not giant, but there's even, so slightly lower highs. And we just kind of churned down here in the 90 to 100 zone. Look where I expected to go, back to the same 90 to 100 zone. So we may see this, depending on what happens over the next couple years, we may see this back in this zone right in here. Kind of makes sense. The dollar got a little overhyped up and may come back down to the zone where it kind of rests. When you zoom out and look at the charts, even bigger, we're kind of in this set of lower highs. What do you expect to happen next? Not break out, just kind of churn in the zone. Right there, narrowing up as we go forward. I've got a giant arrow on here. So in the small picture, relatively unclear. Looks like we're going to the daily roadmap line. In the big picture, we'll probably just keep messing around in that zone. NKD. Back to the daily. This is Japan. This is futures on Japan stock market, Japanese stock market. Still in the box, still sideways. Not breaking out, not breaking down. Something could happen today. Trump speaking at the World Economic Forum that could cause this to move, but we'll see. Nothing. Yeah. So rolled through all the stuff I looked at every day. Still kind of unclear. Not my favorite kind of market. So that's why I haven't really been doing much. ELV, events. hanging out down here in the potential reversal zone. Nothing clear here. I mean, that potentially was the top and we're retracing, but how deep do we retrace? We're already back below that, so doing something deeper. Next support could be down here at the top of this stuff right here. Pull on back. If we do another pullback, support or resistance, that's support. This is resistance at the roadmap line. So we may rally up there and take another dive down here. Healthcare. Yeah, this is managed healthcare. Healthcare undergoing some stress right now. Like there's costs are a little bit out of control. We need to, do something to fix it. Who knows what we're going to do? Careful chasing that stuff. Oh, look at that. GE right to the target. That gave you a couple days and boom, right there. Boom, shakalaka. Gave you like a couple days of indecision to get in and then boom, right up to the target. Can that keep going? Sure. 216, 239, 251. Climb the fib ladder. Each rung it gets higher, it's less likely to keep going. Be careful. What's the most likely thing to occur at this point? Probably a retest of the breakout, then an extension, and then possibly a retrace to the roadmap line. Seems like the most common pattern, but every time there's a little difference. I mean, it's never exactly the same, ever. The market never does exactly the same thing over and over. If you haven't learned that yet, welcome to this thing we call trading. At this point, we fired off a bounce, we fired off a bounce, we fired off a bounce, we fired off a bounce. If we close above it again today, 263, 268, roughly the target up there. If we can get continuation, this is looking sideways and unlikely to extend higher. We'll see. We've been just churning in this area for over a year now, or over a year. Yeah, because we started December, like right down here, broke into it at November, actually, 23. Shoot. Well over a year at this point. Look, that's a range bound set of gobbledygook. $35 range. How tradable is that? It's not my favorite kind of stuff. I mean, a stock at rest tends to remain at rest. I mean, it's just like physics, Something at rest tends to remain at rest. Something in motion tends to remain in motion unless forces are acted upon it. Something that's churning in a $35 range, you expect it to remain in a $35 range until something upsets the ability to sit there in that $35 range. GWRE. That's why I don't like stuff that's just sideways churny. I mean, why would you think now is the time it's going to change what it's doing? Unless you got extra information. So this closing above, pop, could drop. Be careful. Want to see that close above there today before we bet on it going up to 214, possibly 219. DGNX. Got 2 candles. Moving on. Can't do anything with that. UNH bounced off the roadmap line. That is resistance to going higher. Think about it. Resistance sits above you. Resists price going higher. Support is under you, holding things up. Support at this point down here. Resistance up here. Likely to go touch support. That's what that looks like. That looks like the start of something more like this could be the start of a downtrend right here. More so than Ethereum at this point. Because look, that move, that strong move, this retrace, maybe get a third move right there. And then continuation lower. And then that could kick off a bigger 3-wave up and then a bigger decline. Something like that. Looks like this is going to be sideways churny in a large range for a while. 200-300 point range. Be careful. Humana coming up into the resistance. That may go lower also. Like I said, healthcare struggling. Cigna. Resistance at the roadmap line. Support. Gosh. Probably down here at this point. Come on, click. Probably down in here. May bounce off and come back up. Come on down. Xcure. Biotech. You see, anybody doubt at this point? Look at that pop. Dumpster fire. See that pop? Right back down. Pop it again. Where are we probably going? Back in that zone. Probably. Be careful. Probably coming back down here. They didn't all of a sudden fix all the problems. It's just not the way companies work. That's a reverse split. This is a dumpster fire. Be careful. HWM. Howmet Aerospace. Reaching targets. Be careful. This needs a retrace. Hasn't had one since back here in October of 23. Over a year and a half ago, or about a year and a half ago. Getting close to a year and a half ago. ZSL. Ultra short silver. Well, that's interesting. What did silver do? Back to the roadmap line. Myself, I kind of have been waiting on this to actually happen. Right there. Gold may not be able to climb higher until silver flushes out. So that's kind of what I've been, kind of been my overall thesis. Gold is, the chart, gold by itself looks pretty spicy. Like there's a gold trade we do, gold rush. There's no reason to doubt it was going to work. Big picture, bigger picture, longer time frame, months, years in advance. This silver chart looked like it needed to finish this dip before the whole metals, precious metals thing can take off. Now, other precious metals don't necessarily look the same. Similar, but not the same. Platinum and palladium, just not really doing the same sort of pattern. So be careful here. When we say precious metals, that's not looking like a smoking hot chart with upside opportunity. That one's not either. So platinum and palladium, not necessarily looking as spicy as what we see on silver and gold. Has certainly been kind of the outperformer here. So remember, outperformers don't necessarily remain outperformers. So, and then copper. Industrial metal, yes. Is China having trouble? Kind of. This may be, look at this set of lower highs. We could flush this on down. Could happen pretty quickly. Get one of these really quickly. Flush this down, clear it out, and then we can go higher. Something's up with copper. Dr. Copper, not looking. Now, usually copper is ripping when big tech is ripping, and this has not been the case. Like, we made this spike back here, but just consolidating. Something's up when I look at the whole complex there. All right, so short silver. That may get a little more pop into the roadmap line. 1, 2, 3. Let's, had a reverse split, of course. So this is, complete garbage to trade. Be careful. And we came up shy of hitting that. So we may need one more good push up into the zone right in there, which would probably correspond with that dip in silver. And then this falls out of the bed and trips down the stairs. Logitech. Big picture, we're just sitting at that resistance. We've been at it been right there for, gosh darn. When did that start? November 23? Now here we are, a year and 2 months later. Well, that's not showing strong opportunity. Looks like that may roll right down here. This could take another couple years to get down there. Do this for the next out to 27. Be careful. Electronic Arts. Oh, guess what? They were talking about raising the price of video games up to $100 for AAA titles. That just shocks me. Raymond James has downgraded Electronic Arts to outperform, to market perform. Sorry, this news isn't available. Sorry, this news isn't available. Awesome. Yeah. So down on no giant news except a downgrade, possibly. That sounds like somebody's trying to buy, but that's not been doing anything for 5 years. Not a lot of opportunity. All right. That's 45-point range for 5 years. Not a lot of opportunity there. ASML. I still think this is going down, but we'll see. There's the resistance and support down here around 600. VEEV, Viva Systems. Sideways churn. Look at that. Golly. That's when I see this, it's just, can you take a little short-term opportunity that doesn't need a higher high? Sure. When you see something like this, when you zoom out to the daily chart, though, it's probably it's not going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere for 3 years. It's probably not going to start going anywhere now. Unless we do all the breakout things. Like right now, it rejected that 618 right there. Did hold the roadmap line. If we come back and break through that, get the close up here, maybe we can start on going higher. But what's the time frame for going higher? After messing around like this for 3 years, it could be another 3 or 4 years to get up here, just to the target at 380. ARM popped yesterday, taking it back today a little bit. I said that data center stuff was probably a limited time pop, so watch out for that to come back down. Back in the range. Another sideways. Been sideways for half a year now. This was the high. We set all the way back here. That was the low immediately, and then we've just been in this kind of watermelon seed squeezy thing. Fake out. May go test the bottom now. Coin. Well, that's interesting. Coin is up while Bitcoin turning a little bit. I was going to say, usually coin's not up unless Bitcoin's up. So Bitcoin coming back. Let's see if Bitcoin can get its act together. MSTR. Can we get their act together? Or are we coming down here? So this is really a coin flip right here. It really is. We've got the setup in place to either pop or drop. And it's really just a big coin flip. Which way we're going? Which way we're going? And running's all relative. We're just back up into the 105. Just back into the top, back into the main resistance. So, app. Watch for that flush. TTWO, watch for that flush. AMAT, back here. They let the, so Mr. Albright, however you say his name, Albert, I don't know. the guy that ran Silk Road. So the big chunk of Bitcoin that the government's been sitting on for years was confiscated from Silk Road. The guy that ran Silk Road was pardoned by Trump yesterday or maybe Tuesday. I don't know. I think it was Tuesday maybe. And he has a wallet that the government didn't confiscate that has 485 Bitcoins in it. And the government, as far as I know, hasn't, although December 30th, there was a judgment passed down that they are allowed to liquidate the Bitcoins that were confiscated in Silk Road. And that's allegedly why Bitcoin sold off back here, right in here, that first week of the year. That's why we allegedly sold off right there, is because that decision was handed down by the courts, and then we turned and burned. What am I saying? It's just, some Bitcoin that's been tied up for a long time could come back on the market. Now, Trump could take the confiscated Bitcoin and lock it up in the strategic reserve. That just takes Bitcoin that was already out of the market, held by the United States government, and throws it back out of the market into the United States government. So that's why I'm always leery reporting on this stuff. I keep track of it, but it's all just smoke and mirrors until the price starts moving. Coin and MSTR moving a little bit, but still just coin flips. App looks like it still wants to retrace. Take two. Probably down on EA being down. This one's been performing much better than EA. Like we actually made all-time high here. Well, no, not an all-time high. We came up into that prior high. Thought it was all-time high. So we've got these two zones here. It's been performing though. Like we wet the bed over here and potentially made a bottom. Now we're coming back out of it. Where EA, not really the same situation. This thing, really, when you just zoom out, it just keeps churning. Like we've tightened up the range a little bit. We've just been churning this zone since 2017. Gosh, almost a whole decade of going nowhere. I mean, look, literally, like, draw that price right back over here. 2017. Need to make a new Sims game or something. I don't know. Bad not paying the bills. There's lots of decliners here today, so AMAT coming back down. Do we hold the roadmap line? Or do we break down through and come down here? Do we hold and bounce? There's resistance. Another coin flip. Unclear. There's a lot of unclear stuff. MU. So far, not breaking through, not breaking down. I keep meaning to buy exposure from this, but maybe the universe is, maybe the reason I forget is because the universe is telling me not to do it. I don't know. It's funny how these things happen. Like when I'm really convicted, when I have a strong conviction to do something, usually I remember to do it. I keep talking about it and then I get off of here and I don't ever remember to do it again. And then when I go look at the chart, I'm like, not so sure. Not so sure. That's a downtrend of highs. NVDU. I still feel very strongly that something's about to flush out on NVIDIA. This leverage chart tells me be freaking careful. I just seen this too many times. That, look at that. That got down right near, it's right in the vicinity where I drew that arrow back there in July. That may bounce. Be careful. Paid a big dividend that knocked it down. Reverse split. This is trash to trade, so I'd be careful. Be careful, be careful. STS dropping back down. I said it needed to go a little lower, just scraping the top of my target zone. I would feel better if we get in the 15 to 17 zone. SMH. Potential for this one to rock and roll at this point. Like that little bounce that was in here, this market roadmap bounce that I gave out as a bonus trade back in November, December, whenever it was. I think it was early December. That worked out. Hit the target yesterday. Today, pulling back just a little bit. Do we get the bigger extension out to 296? Or was that it? That could be it. And we go down. Be careful. Oracle. Sitting in the zone. That was an entry. Right there. That was a confirmed entry. Upside 204, 210. PTIR. This might go up again. Be very leery. Did not retrace the roadmap line on PLTR, the underlying. Could go on up. Could. I had the target zone up here at that next fib, 107. But this is also in the danger zone for getting the next leg down. First leg down, retrace. Watch for that. Not clear. Not high confidence, not high probability. Be careful. EVTL. Ooh. Ooh. Cringe. Dumpster fire. Dumpster fire warning. Dumpster fire warning. Be careful. Be careful. That's just chopping. KMT. Turn it down at the resistance. Be careful. That can go down. BitX was pulling back. Now Bitcoin turning a little bit. This looks like that looks set to rally higher. That's probably why I have so much heartburn letting this go. This looks set to go on higher. We hit that, we retraced, we retested, we held, coming back up. 83 looks very, very, just sloppy drawing. 83 looks very likely. Maybe even if things got really spicy, that Bitcoin Reserve had the reaction that so many Bitcoiners think, we could just rock it up here. Just gonna have to sit on my hands still. Maybe I should just not look at the charts. That's kind of what I did yesterday. Just not look at Bitcoin. And BitU, kind of the same situation. It's both leveraged Bitcoin. ANET, wow. That's going to retrace at some point. Watch for. We may wait out till here when this comes up to that level. There, maybe over here somewhere out March, April, May. Iron, biotech, not for me. NVDL, not making higher highs. Be careful. There's a bunch of triple threat. That was a Apollo. That was an Apollo. NVDA, lower high. Something's up. This is so tops are processes. This looks like a topping process. Could do one more spike. Could do a little blow off. Super excitement thing. And then do that. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's going to do. It's never exactly the same. This just feels to me a lot like a topping process. I mean, we've seen NVIDIA top out before. Usually, I mean, look, is it doing something like this? We do one of these and then one of these. Yikes. So are we right here in the process? Are we up here in the process? I don't know. we're probably going to do a big retrace. It's done it before. It'll do it again. It's going to hurt. ARKB. That's just Bitcoin again. ALAB. It looks like it's on the path to come back down to the roadmap line. Connell is leverage coin. If coin is ready to go, rock and roll, baby. This one's going up to 82.91, possibly 120. USD, more semiconductor ETF, more uncertainty on semiconductors. That's just been chopping for months and months and months. Really, it's gone nowhere for half a year. Leverage silver, taking a bath. Can't break, hadn't broken out yet. I did not add that back. I was long this, got out up here, been waiting. CLS, waiting. Looks like we're going to retrace pretty deep. MSTX was down, now it's back to neutral. If we're going to flush on MSTR, this will flush. If we break out, this will break out. Coin flip, just same as MSTR. Dell, sideways churn, hitting resistance on the upside. I think it looks good for that, but if we break out above this, we're going on up. Those bigger target, that bigger target up here around 220, more than likely. TEM, Tempest AI, watch for that to flush, back down to a lower low. Why? Because that's a nasty chart right there that looks like it's going to flush to a lower low. FBTC, it's not about stories, all right? Once you can decouple from stories, that's why I'm scared. Like Bitcoin, some charts I look at, I'm like, it looks like it wants to do another leg down. Other charts I look at on Bitcoin, I'm like, it looks good for the breakout. It's just, that's Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF. The bonus trade for the day, as promised, TQQQ. This one is smoking hot. Last time we got this back here, anybody remember this one from like August through whatever it was, December? Smoking hot. Took twice as long as normal, as the average. Twice as long as the average. Almost exactly twice as long. This one fired off. Target's going to be right up there. Right up there. Here's the numbers. TQQQ closed at 87.80, which kicked off the potential entry. If you so choose to do it, I'm in a 90 strike call. I may not have enough time. I'm only out to the third week of February. 96.75 is the target. My 90 strike call will be $6.75 in the money at the target. It's an $8.95 potential upside from the close yesterday, which the market's already open and moving. Pull back a little bit, so maybe you have a little better risk to reward. 94% historic win rate. Look at this profit factor. Absolute insane number right there. 24 profit factor. This is one that you get in every time it fires off, even though there's only 17 trades, which is not statistically significant. That's one you trade. And if it starts losing a bunch, then you just quit trading it. But to me, this is one I'm in. So if you want to know what the options look like, well, let's take a look down here. February 21st, that's the one. That's the one I'm in. And load, please. There we go. As I said, I'm in the call. 90 strike. 90 strike right there. The price right now sitting at 317. That's the mid between the bid and ask. These are reversed. It messes with me. I'm used to the low price being on that side and the high price being on that side. Just about every trading platform I have has them reversed. So that's a way to play. You can play a 91, 92, 93, 94. I mean, you can play any of these. You can play 89, 88, 80. You can play any of these. Any of these. 96.75 is the target on this one. Now, remember, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not even saying you should get into this. If you lose your money, it's on you. This is a leveraged instrument. Leverage carries a significant risk of loss, probably more than anything. And I'm playing options on that, which is like playing with nitroglycerin while you're dancing in it, playing concrete truck driving through a nitroglycerin factory. I mean, be careful on leverage. Be careful. Bias for the day. Kind of feel like we're just, just hovering here, digesting a little bit. May get another one of those little red days. May just be a non-committal day. Yesterday was a little smaller. We're obviously running out of steam a little bit. Need a resty, to rest it up here. Had a few of those along the way here. Take a little resty, and then we pop again. We do have FOMC coming up next week on Wednesday. Be very, very careful getting into anything too long term. Like we could get ripped next week. Right there. Right there it is. FOMC meeting. If we hit the target before then, this is the big if we hit this between now and FOMC meeting, that's probably the reaction. Be careful. All right. I'll be in Discord. I'll be hanging out today. I don't have any other live shows, I don't think. Let me know if you need something. I'll be just kind of waiting and watching. I've got tons of alerts set. If we're actually going to start breaking out, I'll start taking action. But I'm pretty exposed at this point. I had liquidated off. I was 60-70% cash down here. Put everything back in. And I'm just kind of waiting. I don't feel strongly about liquidating, and I don't feel strong about taking profit. I just, there's not much else I can do. I'm just kind of in. Be careful. All right. Count you save may be your own. Nobody's looking out for your money but you. So I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15. We'll do it all over again. Look for more awesome stuff, more confirmation. We're actually going to move. Be careful. 11 o'clock Trump. That's about 52 minutes from now.